Hello everybody. So today's health talk is all about protein. Last week I did one on carbohydrates. This week it's all about protein. This is the big one that most people really struggle with. But when you master it and you get it right, oh my gosh, it will make the biggest difference with regards to everything else. And I 100% believe that, and so does Jason, if you get your protein right, everything else falls into place. So it's almost like you don't need to worry about your carbs and your fats, because essentially, if the protein is right, focus on the protein first. If you're doing, say, for instance, our body transformation, you've got your macros and we've told you what you should be hitting per day with regards to these macros. Macros are known as macronutrients, as I explained last week. You've got 3 macronutrients, which are your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins. So if we've turned around to you and said, we want you to hit 100 grams of protein, focus on that first. Everything else then will fall into place, because majority of protein has got good fats in it. So you'll find then you won't need to then up the amount of fats that you eat or worrying about. And sometimes I think if people focus on the fats first, they then find that then they go over when they start to add in their protein, because they don't realize that majority of protein and also carbohydrates have got fats in them as well. So get the protein right first. Focus on your protein. Now, obviously, everybody in this group eats differently. We've got people who are vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, meat eaters, fussy eaters. We're used to that on the body transformation, absolutely. So I'm not here to tell you, you should be eating this or this or this. You eat the foods, the protein sources that you like. I'm here to guide you as to what are the best protein sources. But if you focus with every meal you have on protein being the majority of your meal, the next part is your vegetables, you know, your vitamin minerals that you're getting in with your good fats as well. And then the last point of call will be your carbohydrates. Most people can master the carbs and they probably overconsume their carbs, which is why I've left the carbs. I did the carbs kind of the first talk, because most people find that they can actually understand that. They know what the carbohydrates essentially are. So what do we use protein for? Well, we use it traditionally for growth and repair. It's used to be able to build muscle mass, but it's also be able to build your immune system, to be able to repair your muscle fibers when you've trained. So every time you train, your muscle fibers naturally tear, and then they grow back together. And when they grow back together, they knit back, and they knit back stronger. And it's the protein bonds that help build them back stronger, firmer, bigger from there. But also they help repair with regards to not just muscle tissue, but tendon, ligaments, any injuries as well. So if you are somebody who is suffering with injury, protein needs to be your first point of call for your nutrition to make sure that you are recovering effectively. If you are poorly, yes, of course, you want your vitamins and your minerals from your fruit and your vegetables, but also protein is going to help to boost your immune system. For all the men in our group, protein is going to help to naturally boost your testosterone levels. For all the women in the group, protein is going to help to boost your natural testosterone levels. Women need testosterone, 100%. And especially if you are over the age of 35, your natural testosterone levels start to drop. If you are a man over the age of 35, your natural testosterone levels also start to drop. And they would start to diminish themselves every year. So you find then that you're not holding muscle mass the way that you used to. So maybe when you were younger, you were really toned, you were really fit, you didn't feel like you had many injuries. You kind of like went to the gym and your body was responding really quite quickly. As you get older, it takes longer. Now, for those of you in our group who followed me for a long while, you'll know that I had my bloods done before we did our last body transformation that Jason and I did together before we launched the body transformation, that we did for our photo shoot. Those of you that are new to this group, just so you are aware of it, I had my bloods done at the start of my prep. I then did 12 weeks. I didn't take any supplements apart from protein shakes and aminos, BCAAs. And then essentially that was all I took. And then I quit everything else, quit all my other supplements. And then I had my bloods done again. Now, when I first initially had my bloods done, it was very evident. At the time I was 43, so it was very evident that my testosterone levels were naturally dropping, which is completely normal for a woman who's 43. And I noticed that, you know, I wasn't holding muscle mass the way I used to. I've always had a good amount of muscle on my body, but not to the stage where I'm at right now. And it was naturally dropping. I was finding it harder to, you know, keep my natural physique doing just what I was doing. Over the 12 weeks, all I focused on was working on my nutrition, upping my natural protein levels, making sure I was eating lots of good fats, making sure I was eating good carbohydrates, and heavy weight training. I was reducing my sleep, my stress, and I was increasing my sleep. All of these things play a huge role. By the end of the 12 weeks, I redid my bloods again, had them done professionally. And my doctor said to me, I don't know what you've done, Kelly, but please continue to keep doing it because everything has increased. Everything's got better. My thyroid was better, my cholesterol better, but my natural testosterone levels had increased in just 12 weeks. And that just came from eating correctly and training effectively. So with protein, you want to be making sure that majority of your meal is made up of your proteins. So obviously protein, if you're thinking about protein from the perspective of a meat eater, it's going to be your meats. It's going to ideally be meats which are clean meats. And what I mean by that is that that meat has come off the animal and it's not been packed or processed with anything else. Obviously, you know, a burger doesn't come off the animal like that. A sausage doesn't come off the pig like that. They are processed meats. And those meats have got added nasties into them, which essentially aren't going to do your body any good. You also want to eat as organic as possible because if the animal has been given hormones, which majority of animals do, if you're not eating organic meat, that hormone, whatever that animal's been given, goes straight into you. So whatever the animal eats, essentially that's been given to you. It's why Jason and I don't eat pork, because pigs eat shit. You know, they eat anything. They will eat absolutely anything. And of course, then it's not good quality. So think about the quality of the meat if you are a meat eater. I highly recommend that you go to a farmer's market, that you buy from a butcher. Do not buy organic meat from Tesco, Sainsbury's, anywhere like that. You will pay an extortionate amount of money. Buy from somebody exclusive. Go and buy more local. Buy from a farmer's market. Go and buy from a butcher. They are going to have much better quality meat and it's going to be a lot cheaper for you. If you are somebody who eats fish, fish is an amazing source of protein. Any type of fish, as long as it's not battered, you know, or scampi, again, kind of a processed fish. But any of your white fishes are your very lowest levels with regards to fat. So very high quality protein, low levels of fat. Oily fish like mackerel, sardines, salmon have got a brilliant source of good fats as well. So if you're trying to up your good fats, go for more of your oily fish because they're an amazing source of protein and they are also an amazing source of good fats as well from there. Obviously, you want to avoid any kind of battered fish, anything like that is not going to be great, but you can make your own dressings. We actually use the Schwartz fish dressing. We use that a lot on sea bass, cod, or you can make your own breaded, breadcrumbs, and you can make your own one rather than it being hugely battered. But again, fish is a brilliant source of protein and good fats. If you are someone who eats seafood, prawns, anything like that, again, smoked salmon, incredibly high with regards to protein and good fats. These are going to be your go-to. And fish like that, you know, seafood and your oily fish are also amazing because with the fat content in them, they're really good for collagen, they're really good for brain health. It's not just from an aesthetic point of view, it's from an internal point of view as well. So they help with skin elasticity. So if you're someone who suffers with loose skin, that's going to be your go-to foods. If you're somebody who suffers with regards to brain fog, then absolutely these are your go-to foods. If you eat eggs, Eggs are a brilliant source of protein. So the egg, the white of the egg is all protein, no fat at all. The yolk of the egg is fat. So obviously, if you combine the two, you're getting good fats and you're getting, your high level protein. If you need to reduce your fats down, then all you would do is just go with the egg white. So when I make an omelette, I will often use, if I'm not putting, say, for instance, banana in it, or making like a fruity omelette, if I'm just doing a normal omelette, I will use 3 eggs, 1 egg complete, and then just the whites of the other 2. So it massively reduces down the fat, but massively increases the protein. I know not everyone wants to eat eggs all the time, and I would recommend that I eat eggs every single day. The cholesterol that you get from eggs is a good cholesterol. It's not a bad cholesterol, especially if you start to reduce down the amount of yolks that you're having. So I don't want you to be worried about that in any way, shape or form. Bad cholesterol is obviously what you're getting when you're eating excess amounts of bad fats, trans fats, which, essentially come from all your fried foods that are heavily processed. That's where you need to reduce down the biscuits, the cakes, all of things like that. But you want to kind of, if you're not on, say, for instance, a body transformation, you want to be eating eggs 2 to 3 times a week for sure, as a minimum standard. If you're on the body transformation, you could eat eggs as many times as you want to. It's absolutely fine. I eat them every day. Jason has an omelette every day from there as well. If you are a meat, vegetarian or a vegan, then you're going to need to get your protein source from different protein sources. This is where nuts are going to be your best friend. Almonds, soybeans, peanuts, Brazil nuts, cashew nuts are all amazing sources of protein, which have also got really, really great sources of fats in them. So upping the amount of nuts that you're eating, pine nuts, also really, really good. Almonds actually have got the highest level of protein in them, so that could be your go-to. But also you've got protein as well with regards to things like your flax seeds, your brown rice, your kidney beans are very high in protein. Hazelnuts also. You can also eat, if you eat tofu, lentils are a great source of protein. Chickpeas are an amazing source of protein. So either adding chickpeas to your food, your stews, your curries, or go for hummus as a go-to kind of snack. Peanut butter is an amazing source of protein. If you are somebody who, again, is vegetarian, it would be absolutely awesome. You can get vegan sources of protein, peanut butter as well. That could be something that you could opt for. Chia seeds are very, very high in protein as well. So these are all things that you could go for. Spinach, very good source of protein. So you could add that into your diet as well, add that into your food. And yeah, I know that there are vegan variations of, your fake chickens, your fake meats. Again, they're very heavily processed. So just be careful when you're eating heavily processed vegan options as well, because you want to go for whole foods, which are going to be definitely more beneficial for you. Tempura is a great source of protein, really, really good. You get 33 grams of protein per cup, which is absolutely amazing. Quinoa, again, very, very good source. Oats, and if you're on the body transformation, we talk about having oats for breakfast, maybe mixing it up so that one morning you have oats or overnight oats, the next morning you might have eggs. But yeah, you're getting 10 grams per cup of protein. So definitely upping that is going to be beneficial. I spoke about kidney beans earlier, 21 grams of protein per half a cup. These are incredibly high. If you're adding them to salads, if you're adding them to stews, if you're adding them to curries, anything like that, again, are going to be really, really key. Make a kidney bean fake burger, make your own, definitely are going to be beneficial. So when do you want to eat protein? Well, this is the key. You want to have protein in every single meal, for sure. But your protein is going to be really important as well post-workout. When I'm talking about post-workout, I'm talking within half an hour of you finishing training, because that's where you are going to optimize your protein the Now, obviously, there are protein bars, there are protein shakes that you can have, BCAAs, which we spoke about before. Jason's done a whole talk on BCAAs, branch chain amino acids. So if you go into this group, you look on the magnifying glass and you have a little look at, and you just put in there amino acids, that talk will come up. You'll be able to find it and you'll be able to listen to it all about what aminos are. I have my aminos in my water bottle, and I have this full twice a day. So you can see that I'm already here with regards to today, that I've already drunk this much. I will make sure that I drink a full amount by lunchtime, and then I'll drink again another amount. I'll be upping my water as we're going closer and closer into our photo shoot. So I get a drip feed of aminos throughout the day. What you don't want to do is dilute it too much. So with a bottle like this, with the BCAAs that I take and Jason takes, we essentially I have 2 scoops in one bottle of BCAAs, branch chain amino acids, and then I can drink that throughout the day. You don't want to dilute it too much. And this is the same with protein shakes. Only put the amount of water in that it tells you to put in. Try not to dilute it too much. If you are diluting it more, you need to drink it quickly. Certainly don't leave that over a period of time. 1, it will taste rancid and probably go a bit funny. But 2, you're not getting in the amount of protein that you need. When you look for a protein shake or a protein bar or a protein cookie or anything like that, make sure that when you look at the actual ingredients, there is more protein than there is anything else in it. I did a study with my students at college years ago when I was teaching full time at college, and we actually looked at different protein bars and how much actually protein there was in them in comparison to carbohydrates. And the majority of protein bars that are out there, actually, they only have a trace of protein in, and they only need a trace of protein in to be able to say it's a protein bar. Generally, if they add nuts to it, they can call it a protein bar. And actually, most of them, when we looked at them, the carbohydrates was a hell of a lot higher than the actual protein. So make sure when you look at it, it's got a good amount of protein in there. Now, I have a protein shake from Huel, Black Edition. And the Black Edition is 20 grams of protein per scoop, 8.5 grams of carbs, 8.5 grams of fats. So it's like a whole food. Jason's protein, his Cytec that he has, there isn't hardly any carbs or fats in there. It's pure protein, pure whey protein. Now, Jason's going to do a talk tonight when we're talking about the macros in the new body transformation group, about the difference between whey protein and kind of normal protein with regards to that, where that kind of comes from. So if you are on the body transformation, hopefully that's going to make sense. If you are on the development group, obviously you've had talk before, so we've already explained kind of like the difference with regards to different proteins. Obviously, we want you to get your protein from whole foods first and foremost. If you are struggling for time, or if you're like me, an instructor, and you might be training and then going straight into a class, obviously then the protein shake really works, because you can then consume that protein shake nice and quickly, and essentially then, you know, you've got that intake in within that half an hour window after you've trained to fuel your body right. Sometimes it's 0 point actually training if you're not going to fuel your body right afterwards. So you want to make sure that that protein is coming in within half an hour, maximum an hour after you've trained. So if you know full well you can't physically sit down to get a meal, that's where the protein shakes will really help. And there'll probably be questions regarding that. So post below, that's absolutely fine with regards to that protein. But I really hope that's gave you a very simple kind of methodology with regards to your protein. So you want protein in every single meal, but you want to consume a little bit extra after you've trained. And you want that half-hour window that's going to be really key. And that's where you may want to opt for a protein shake. I'm not somebody who's heavily promoting lots of heavy protein shakes throughout the day. I want you to eat real food and get it from any source that you want to. Make sure that you are getting protein in every single meal. And that's going to be a game changer with regards to transforming your health, transforming your growth, your repair, your physique, your immune system, your recovery from training, but also from illness and injury as well. And it's going to give you that natural boost of your testosterone levels. But you want to opt for as clean protein as possible. If you are a meat eater, try to avoid the processed meats. Eat as organic as possible, but don't buy organic in the supermarkets. It will cost you a bomb. Go for a butcher, a farm, local farm shop, anything like that is going to be absolute key for you. If you are pescatarian, again, buy off the seafood counter, don't buy packages or buy frozen that you can essentially get out of the freezer and cook direct. So again, it's not going to cost you an absolute bomb. But if you can get yourself to a fishmonger, absolutely do it. It will save you so much money and it will be a lot fresher, a lot more organic with regards to that fish source. If you are vegetarian or vegan, then absolutely you can still get in a good quality protein. You just need to eat a bit more of it, and it needs to be in every single meal that you possibly can. Any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, I really hope that's helped. And next week, we'll be talking all about fat.